What tools do you use for OA? Currently on the free trial for Source Mogul, I'm trying to find cheap Chrome extension, or I'm trying to find a cheap Chrome extension to show daily and monthly product sales data. So to answer your question for daily and monthly product sales data, I use Jungle Scout. It's very, very, very good, and I highly recommend it regardless of the business model. I literally use it every single day in pretty much every single business model that I plan to resell back on Amazon with. That said, people obviously think it's expensive. I don't think it's expensive. I think if you pay yearly and you go with the light version, I believe it's $9.99 a month. Now, sometimes you can't find like the light version landing page, so you might have to go with the normal version. So try to first and foremost Google Jungle Scout Chrome extension light version, right? And if you can find that landing page, because that's exactly what I still pay for, it's $9.99 a month. So that's pretty cheap. If you can't find it because they obviously discontinued that they're not pushing the light version anymore. They're just keeping it obviously hidden for people that are already subscribed to keep those people as customers, kind of like me. So if not, then you can just use the normal version of the Chrome extension, and that's $19.99 a month. So that's going to pay for itself time and time over. I know that I believe Jungle Scout has a free estimator as well if you just Google like Jungle Scout free estimator, although you're going to spend so much extra time going in, finding the ASIN, plugging it into that, and then using their free estimator. I would recommend that you probably go with the Chrome extension. It's going to save you so much time and realistically streamline your process so you can order products faster, order more profitable products more frequently, etc., etc. But I do believe if you don't want to pay the $19.99 a month, excuse me, I'm pretty sure they have a free estimator. I haven't used their free estimator in like 3 to 4 years potentially, but I'm pretty sure it still exists. So you can look into that. To answer your other questions of, what other tools do I use for OA? I use so many different tools for OA depending on the business model. So if we're talking about just like overall, I use things like cashback credit cards, right, to increase my profit margins. I also use things like Honey, things like Rakuten, things like all sorts of plugins like that to give me extra cash back as well as my cashback credit cards. I also use Keepa. I also use, Jungle Scout. I also use the AMZ Scout calculator. I also use a number of other things. I use Simple Posture. I use a number of things, right? So obviously you're in the course. You can go through the course, and in each specific module, I go over the software that I use, the software that I recommend, as well as like plugins and stuff like that, and the purpose of them. If you're talking about specific softwares for the books, I either use eFlip or Zen Arbitrage. Let's just go down the list here and I'll tell you exactly what I use. So for books, like I said, I use Zen Arbitrage or eFlip. I like them both. I've covered, kind of a comparison of which one's better and, which one I'd recommend for you depending on your situation. For sourcing from retail websites, you already know I obviously use Source Mogul. For sourcing through liquidation, I use Scan Unlimited a lot of times, or I just specifically buy it for the marketplace if it's not Amazon. For wholesale, again, I use Scan Unlimited. For cashback and coupon, obviously I'm not really using anything. I'm just kind of estimating the cheapest potential profit margin and reselling it back on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. So that pretty much kind of sums it up for you. I use a number of different things depending on the business model, but obviously if you go to that specific section in that module in the course, you can see exactly what software I recommend and exactly what plugins I use in all the tutorials, as well as if you go to the second module in the course, which I believe is Module 2, obviously, I don't know why I just recapped that. It's Module 2, things that will make online arbitrage exponentially easier and more profitable. There's probably 5 to 6, if not maybe 10, honestly, things that I recommend in there. And obviously Jungle Scout, the Chrome extension that will cover your sales for the month and everything like that, or estimate sales for that listing, and is $19.99 a month, like I said, is something that I highly recommend with that. So that pretty much answers your question. I hope that kind of covers everything. Those are the tools that I use. That's the Chrome extension that I recommend that you use. And like I said, if you're strapped for cash initially or you want to really maintain your margins, I believe that Jungle Scout has a free estimator. Just Google it and you should be able to find it potentially.